Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you all here today. For those who don't know me, I'm Rocio and the Fotokids Donor Coordinator and Social Media Manager. We're really happy that you are here with us today. And for those who will see the recording, welcome too. I'll give the time for Matt and Annie. They are both our board members. So, Matt, it's up to you.
Hey, Ann, it's nice to see you join. I had a couple slides I was going to share just to kind of bring everybody up to speed on my perspective on some things. And then if you want, Ann, I'll save you a few minutes for you if you'd like. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
You're going to hire board members who understand technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go through this quickly. This is one of my favorite slides, which is Nancy in the early days. That kind of sums up a lot of the home visits that I've had. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt Strain. I've been supporting and a fan of Fotokids since I first met Nancy probably 20 years ago. Been on the board, I don't know, probably 7, 8 years. And Fotokids is just one of those things for me that is probably the most gratifying thing that I do throughout my year. The board trip we have down to Guatemala is just really enriching for me. So most of these pictures are just pictures that I took while I was down there. First thing I wanted to share was just the reach and impact. Over the 33, 34 years, the group has served about, excuse me, about 5,000 kids, 4,500 scholarships, currently has about 110 current students. The one thing for me that hit me was, that number could be larger, but it's really important that it's kept sort of contained so that they can get an immersion over a number of years, which is really what it takes to change the lives and the way the team is changing lives. So sometimes people will say, oh, that number should be bigger. We should do something much greater, which is where I came in. But over the years, I've watched these students and kids develop. And just for Jamie and others who haven't been on before, both Rocio and Evelyn and Andreas and Josefa all came up through the program. So everybody who is on the management team was a participant and in the program. So it's a really nice one where all the students who are coming into this can look up to the leaders, and that's who they could be at some point in the future. The other bit, all of the students come from areas of extreme need. That I didn't know what that meant until I first went down. And each board trip, we go in and actually visit the families. And this photo on the top right is from one of the houses that we visited. And if you look at the very top of the photo, you'll see, on top of the TV, 2 of their most prized possessions are the photos that the kids have taken, right? So it kind of shows not just that this is about photography, but it is, it's a sense of pride and a sense of growth for the kids. The other thing I love about Fotokids is, the concept of psychological safety, which is one of the really important things for people being able to thrive. And that's what these classrooms represent. And the shot on the bottom right is sort of the kids who are, at least from a Western perspective, when I see the situation they're living in, and then I go and I see them in the classrooms, they are absolutely as fired up and as engaged as any student I've seen, in North America, if not more. The stats also in terms of first generation graduates, first generation of kids that are going to school, the number of kids that move on to high school graduation and even college afterwards, right? I mean, 100% of the advanced students graduating high school in Guatemala is a phenomenal stat. Global recognition is another one, and a lot of this is thanks to Nancy's network and her award-winning photography over the years. But in the last year or two, Nancy and Evelyn just finished an exhibition of the photos in India. They had a big session at the Bronx Documentary Center last year. The Kravitz Center down in Florida was working with them and actually paying us for some of the work that we're doing there. And just this last week, I had a discussion with the head of Hearst with the ICF in New York who's interested in doing some work with us. So to me, this shows not just what's happening in Guatemala, but that international recognition. And the positive side of that is we then have international photographers that are coming to Atitlan in Guatemala City to run workshops for the kids, right? So playing way outside of what you would expect from a relatively small program in Guatemala. The other question I get sometimes as well, is photography really the most important thing? And the way I look at it, from what I saw at my time at Adobe, photography helps people create a mindset and a way of looking at the world that gets them to believe that they can do something different or beyond their current conditions. So the graduates are going into journalism and education, design and architecture, which you might expect, but also there are a lot who are going into business, right? And it's developed this sense of confidence. And part of that is the advanced program actually get into client management, presentation skills. So it's much more beyond photography. It's really using photography as that lever to get a much broader experience in education. Talked about this a little bit, but the last thing I want to show is this. This is the thing that amazed me at the last time that I was there. And this just shows the joy that comes with these programs. And this is one of the kids who, just broke out in song while we were all there just standing around and they were playing. So I show that not because this is about singing, but he does have an amazing voice. But to me, that just epitomized like the joy and the love and the confidence these kids come from. Because I guarantee if you saw them in their home environment, it's a really, really rough world. So I just wanted to say, thank you to the Fotokids team. It's an honor to be involved with you and to share it with the rest of the crew. So, and I think I probably took up a good chunk of our time, but I do want to pass it over to you as well.
Matt, thank you. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes. Yeah, I just sent you a note, so I'm going to keep this short because I'm coming off a second root canal on the same tooth in the last like 8 days. And the endodontist doesn't want me on pain meds so that if there's infection showing up, it doesn't get masked. So I think everything you had to say, Matt, was brilliant. I couldn't agree more. I've been a fan of Fotokids since 2010, where I met Nancy on my first trip down to Guatemala and specifically Antigua, and I've been following and learning and becoming more impressed with not just the results of the program, but how well the model is working in terms of seeing program graduates stay involved and become mentors and teachers for those that come behind them. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Matt.
And I'll pass it back to Rocio. I'll get out of your way.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt and Annie. Now it's Nancy's turn to give us a brief update on Fotokids' latest news and upcoming events.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad to see you all here. And what we're doing this year and next year is we're planning the year and how it unfolds, both in terms of exposure and in learning. And then also next year is our 35th anniversary. So we're trying to pull things together with an idea of exposure and what we're going to do for next year. So internationally, Matt mentioned this, we finished with the Chennai, India exhibition in late January, and it looks like that's going to go on to Vienna, which is great. And I'm meeting with the woman who was one of the co-founders of this exhibition when I go to London next week. And she's got the Children's Photography Archive, and they're tied in with, photo projects similar to ours across the world, basically. So I'm going to just see if there's anything that that would be useful benefit to Fotokids. And then also I'm going to be interviewed in London by Reuters for this book that they have coming out. And I'll be sure to put a plug in for Fotokids. And then internationally, I'm also in conversation with a Japanese government organization that brings young people over to study photography in Japan. And we'll see how that goes, if it actually morphs into something. And then, yes, as Matt mentioned, we are licensed again for the fall with the Kravis Center of Performing Arts in Florida, where we're giving workshops to kids from vulnerable areas of Florida. So and that's great. It's a paid gig, and she's also working to see if we can work something out with several organizations in Colombia. So, but we'll see about that. I don't know, then as far as exhibits go, well, we had a small one in Antigua, Guatemala. That worked out very well, and a lot of the kids' parents and the kids came out to see their pictures on the wall, and we're just thrilled to be in the photo exhibit, you know, so it goes a long way for validation, this type of thing. And the same with the Fotokids crew that went out with Daniela Andrade, who did the 750-kilometer run from coast to coast and documented it. That was shown at the Cooperación Española, the Spanish government's cultural center. And they had, I think, like 50 photos or maybe more in that. And the older students that had done that were also came out to see the exhibit. So next May, 2026, the exhibit that we had at the Bronx, that was the 30th, is going to SUNY, which is, you know, State of New York University, and Old Westfield, and they're going to do a show there. So that'll be great. They'll just pick it up from Bronx and take it there. And we've also been offered again in Antigua at the Cooperación Española, which is this beautiful monastery. We took up the whole thing for our 30th, but they've offered it to us for our 35th. And so I don't think we do another one of like 180 photos. It was a little too time consuming, but we might do one of their smaller gallery rooms for that, with things that we already have, or things that we'll be doing in the workshop. Last November, we reinitiated after the pandemic our Design for Kids, which is a photography and design workshop where we bring down professionals from the U.S. to work and to teach the older students and the staff. So the mentors were Michael Cramber from the Bronx Documentary Center, and he taught portfolio preparation, and he taught that to the middle group and to the advanced group as well. And then Stu Esler came. He's an architectural photographer from the East Coast, and he taught high dynamic range, HDR. And then Eric Lokema, who was from Holland, came and gave advanced Lightroom techniques. Just last week, Chris Vale, who had done a big show on Roosevelt Island, he's a well-known documentary photographer, came down and taught the kids this technique where you shoot in color, then turn into black and white, and choose the color that you want for emphasis. And the kids were really excited about it because they're learning a new technique. We did the staff and the advanced kids in Antigua, and then we went up to Santiago Atitlan and did the staff up there. And I think just, you know, knowing something different, something else you can put in your portfolio is really exciting and really stimulating and inspiring for them as well. So, and I can't tell you how you know, pleased he was with the motivation and the drive of the kids and how they just kept working steadily on it. Yeah, so that was pretty impressive. That was really great. And then we have another workshop this November where Warren and Pat are going to come, and that's going to be centered around, and several other photographers, one from Mexico, and Eric's coming from Holland. And we have all this material from when we did a project for 6 years on how the Civil War in Guatemala affected the kids. And during that time, we worked in different groups. We worked with a group in the Ishkan, a group in the city, and Santiago Atitlan. And so from that whole time period, we have interviews with people that were either witnesses to the massacres or had a child who had fled into the jungle with their parents for 12 years, pursued by the army. So we have a lot of material where they wrote poetry and essays, and we'd like to put that into a book for next year for our 35th anniversary. And also, it is the 30th anniversary of the peace accords here in Guatemala. So we think this might be a really good time to get that book out. And so we'll be working on illustration in that particular photo workshop, because although, you know, the kids were young, so there are no photos of that. They're going to have to do interpretive work, illustrative work. And let's see, we've updated our curriculum to expose the children to new technologies, including AI, video, apps, and Evelyn, I'm sure we'll talk more about that. And we got a generous grant this year from the Palmer Foundation to replace 14 of our laptops, which are really old now and can't take a lot of the programs, the newer programs and apps, and to buy some new DSLR cameras to. So that's my update there. And I'll pass it back to Rocio.
Thank you, Nancy. Now it's Evelyn's turn, and she's going to tell us what's new in Fotokids classes. So,
thank you, Rocio. Hi, I think most of you already know me. I am Evelyn, the Executive Director of Fotokids. Thank you for being here today. I think it's been a super busy year so far. And like always at Fotokids, there is no time to get bored. Really, it always is something that came, always is something new. So every day it's a challenge. And I think all the staff know that we do our best, but we think that each day it's the day. So we have to work, we have to do what we have to do. But even though it's just the beginning of May, it feels like we have already lived a whole year. I think we all think the same. But really, I think was all the past months were full of fun and amazing things. Like Matt and Nancy said, we had 2 exhibits, one in India and one here in Guatemala. But with the classes, we are working with 110 students in between Santiago Atitlan and the city. And the way that we manage each group, we divide them by age. So we have, in Santiago, we have 3 different groups that it's label 1, kids from 9 to 11, and label 3, that means that they had 3 years working with Fotokids or studying with Fotokids. And there are kids from 11 to 13. And then the advanced group is labeled 6. That means that they had 6 years studying with us. And these groups, we try to give them the professional work. So we, teachers, usually find some professionals here in Guatemala, photographers, graphic designers, art professionals, and gave the kids workshops so they can not just know the professional and what they are doing or how they get where they are now, but also they have the opportunity to work with them, like practice with them. So I think for the advanced students and for the little ones too, this is a great experience because they can know the professionals, feel comfortable to ask questions to them, and know that if they work hard, they can be in the future a professional too. So there is a way to let them dream too, or to show, or to empower them to feel like they can do it. So we work with not just photography, we teach video, graphic design, creative writing, and as you can see, we have different ways the kids explore their creativity through photography, through drawings, writings, videos, and as Matt showed us, singing too, because they use all the time that they are in Fotokids, they use whatever they want to do in expressing themselves. So that is why Fotokids give this safe net to them to feel that they can do what means for them to express what they feel or how they are feeling each day. So they came to Fotokids, we gave them a lunch, then we start classes, but we have in Santiago two different groups. One studies in the morning with us, and then they go to regular school, and the other group came for the afternoon. So we have all day full of classes in Santiago. In the city, we work with the students just for the afternoon, after school classes. They came to Fotokids, the same. We gave them lunch and then start classes and work with them. And some people have asked me why Fotokids work with a child for such a long time. How do we manage to keep children in the program for so many years? Based on my experience, I believe it's because Fotokids, it's a holistic program. I think not only offers photography classes or video or design classes or scholarships, also provides a safety net. We care about every aspect of the children's lives and their families. For example, through our social work program, we work with the families. We have two social workers, one in Santiago, is Josefa. You will hear her story later. And here in the city, we have Yami, who works with all the families in different areas. So that helped us to build a strong connection with the families, allowing us to work together as a team for the well-being of the children. As you can imagine, working with 110 students, it's a hard work. But we do it with passion and love, and all the students have this opportunity, and their families have the opportunity to tell us what is going on in the family, what needs they have, and we can find a way to help the family if they have medical emergencies, or we gave them these food baskets. So different ways that Fotokids help the families so the kids can stay with us and school. I think one important thing too is that our staff has attending professional workshops led here in Guatemala by Picasia and Sony, specialized in products, food, and fashion photography, as well as studio lighting and documentary work. As Nancy said, just a few weeks ago, they received the workshop with Chris. So our staff is always taking workshops to improve their knowledge, but also to find new ways to show the kids or to teach the kids or new things that are in the technology now, using in the professional work that they want to show the kids. So we always are looking for new technologies, new themes that we can use with our groups. Of course, none of this will be possible without the amazing support of each of you to Kids to Fotokids and the excellent work of our staff. I really think that the staff is the key to this, all of this that Fotokids can do, because without them, they couldn't be possible. As I said, each of us does a different work, not just teaching. We all work together, and we do it with love. And I think all of us want the kids to have the same opportunities that we had, and to have the I think like the example that if you want something, or if you want to change your present, you have to work, and that will happen. That will happen if you work hard. So that's why today we want you to meet Josefa and Andres, two of our members, staff members, who do an incredible work in Santiago Atitlan. So I let Rocio introduce them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. And now what we've all been waiting for is Andres' turn, and he will share his story and tell us more about our project in Santiago Atitlan. So, Andres.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andres. I'm from Santiago Atitlan, a Soto Hill Tuan by like Atitlan in Guatemala. When I was 9 years old, Fotokids gave me a chance that transformed my life. They gave me a camera that became a lucky charm, and it still is today. At that time, my family believed I would only finish sixth grade, just enough to read, write, and do basic math. After that, the plan was for me to move to Guatemala City and sell, produce, survive. It was painful for my father because he knew that without education, the poverty in our family would continue. But as a wood gather, he simply could not afford my studies. For the kids, helped me break that cycle, not just economically, but also the poverty of mindset. Photography was never just a task for me. It became a part of my soul from when I was a kid until I became an adult. My camera was my best companion. I spent my days capturing beautiful moments and historic events around my community. Photography brought not just joy to my life, but my whole family. They supported my everywhere I went with my camera. It gave my life a new purpose, doing what I love. Today, I'm proud to still be part of Fotokids. I work in administration at our Santiago Atitlan Center, coordinating activities with teachers, helping families in need, and making sure our students receive healthy meals, things like chicken and beef, food they don't often have at home. When we see a student having a hard time, we act quickly, meeting with parents, offering support, and making sure every child has the best chance to build a better future. I believe every child deserves to have at least the following things in the order to grow up and build a bright future: to have physical and mental health, the support to pay for their studies, someone who believes in them, gives them opportunity to express themselves and helps them discover who they are. Fotokids supports all these areas by offering scholarships, psychological support, vocational education, giving students the tools for better employment opportunities. Currently, we serve 75 students in Santiago Atitlan, aged 9 to 60. And honestly, without photo kids, most of them would have dropped out of school, just like I almost did. Many of us, the teachers, The leaders in our town are former Fotokids students. We are living proof that education works and that dreams, if you work hard, can come true. Fotokids did not just transform my life, it transformed my family life. And today, together, we are transforming the future of our community. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andres.
Thank you, Rocio.
Great
Thank you.
presentation. And now it's Josefa's turn, and she will tell us about her work and also her personal story. So, Josefa.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Josefa. I am 31 years old and I am from Sayaguatitlan. I started at Fotokids at 12, where I was invited to learn photography. At that moment, I feel very happy because it was something new and unique in my town. It was the beginning of path full of opportunities. I took classes once a week with Fotokids teachers. Andres was one of my first teachers. Fotokids also gave me a scholarship, which made it possible for me to stay in school. My father could not afford to pay for my education. In 2012, something very special happened. I got the chance to work for Fotokids, first as classroom assistant and later as teacher. Something time decided to go to back to school to study social work because I wanted to help families like mine and special girls who are often told that education is not for them. I graduated from the university with a master in degree in social worker. That same year, I became Fotokids' first official social worker. Before that, we support families in small ways. But now I deciding a real program. I started visiting students' homes, talking to parents, and helping with what kids needed, like medical help, school costs, or problems at home. One day, I will never forget, a little girl came to class, gave me a hug, and almost started crying. Their gratitude my later started that her father, who struggles with alcohol and drugs, had tried to look the family inside their home and set on fire. It was very scary. And without this confidence we established during my family visit, we wouldn't have been able to help. That's just one story, and there are many more. There has been a lot of progress over the years. More of students are finishing high school and even going to college. My parents have changed how do you value education. Hungry families get supplements, food baskets. Kids have medical and emotional support when they need it. Parents attend group workshops with a psychologist, and students learning about personal hygiene and menstrual health, topics that are still considered taboo in our community. all of this has made a huge difference. Sometimes I ask myself, what would happen if we did not have social work at Fotokids? We would know what students are going through at home. We couldn't help them stay in school, and we wouldn't be able to help families break the cycle of preventive silence. This is where your support is so important. It helps us do more than teach photography. It helps us protect and care for our students and their families. Thanks for letting me share with you a little bit about how Fotokids uses social work in our program.
Thank you, Josefa. Great presentation. And now we leave you all the participants time for your questions. You can open your mic or write your questions in your chat. So this is time for you. Or if you have any comments or congratulations for Andres and Josefa. Jamie.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for including me in this. I'm a friend of Matt's, and I have been supportive of Fotokids. I will say, whoever thought of this idea of doing a Zoom with people who are there and have gone through the program, this is just invaluable. And I want to thank you both, Andreas and Josefa, for sharing your stories. And this is so empowering and inspiring. And to see how art just brings you in, but then it's so much more, and able to help the kids with food, you know, that they might not have otherwise, and the social services. I just, I'm sure they thank you, but collectively, you are really doing good work in the world. And I think for them to see you as their mentors, I can't think of anything that could be more invaluable. So thank you for including me. I appreciate you, Matt. I appreciate all of you for doing this. And it's very, very impressive organization. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Jamie. We're glad to have you here today. Anyone else?
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
No, go. You've got it.
Okay,
You're on your camera.
I just have a couple of simple questions, I think, practical ones. How did the fundraising go yesterday?
Oh, it went pretty well. We made about, haven't done the morning one, but we've done about almost 60,000, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And much better than last year, which was, where did I have it down here? Which was 35,000. So that's really good.
Oh, it's much better, much better. Yeah.
Much better. And yeah, it looks good. And then there'll be checks that'll come in, you know, that we're not even aware of. So it'll go up a little bit. It'll bump up it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I also want to just chime in and say how gratifying it is for me to be involved in this. This is probably the one group that I you know, I don't know how to say it, how I, you know, want to support it almost always, anytime. Just seeing the value of what happens with the kids, getting to know people like Josefa and Andres personally, and you know, as well as Nancy, and it's just it brings so much joy to me to be able to support and see where the kids go. And you know, the Christmas card that we get every year, you know, I'm looking forward to actually getting to meet my guy this year in person, because I've seen him on video and I've gotten cards from him for a few years, and you know, that's important as well. And then just one real quick practical question: when in November am I coming down there?
I think it is the week of November 10th.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
On my calendar then. Okay, we'll figure out what I'm doing when I get there.
Thank you, Warren. Now, Tom?
I just wondered if our people who are in Guatemala City are familiar with the phrase lienzo de cualquier chalón. Do you know about that lienzo, which is in Universidad Francisco Marroquín?
I don't think so.
Hello?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Nobody goes to Marroquín, they go to different universities, so yeah. Was there something you wanted to say about it?
Well, do you know about the exhibit at the University of the Lienzo? Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay. Fotokids is about telling stories visually. And I encourage you to go to the Universidad Francisco Marroquín and look at their exhibit on the lienzo, which is there's a different definition of lienzo, de cualquier chalón. This is a story map of the early days. We're talking 1525, 1527, when the Spanish came from Teotitlán, from Mexico City, and they made a journey all the way down to Lake Atitlan. And it tells this story from the perspective of the Nahua artists who made this journey. And it's the first map of Guatemala. And if the exhibit is still there, it's literally 2.5 meters by 3 meters wide. It's a huge, huge digital reproduction that tells this wonderful story. You're talking about the recent war in Guatemala. This one goes back 500 years. And so I would encourage you to take the students there to learn about the history of Mesoamerica. I've been working on this for about a year on pre-Columbian communications, and it's a fantastic story. And the university has done a superb job of exhibiting this lienzo.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. Information now. I searched that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I knew you would, Rocio, and I just put a link into the chat for it.
Thank you.
Great. So, anyone else?
I'll say something.
Thanks, Pat.
Hi. I know some of you, but others I don't. I just want to say hi, and I have just recently joined the board of Fotokids, which I'm very excited about. I too, like many of you, have known Nancy for a very long time and been a Fotokids supporter and follower and cheerleader. So I'm really happy to be able to take another step and get more involved. And I too am have offered to to come to the workshop in November, though I don't have the photography skills anymore to do much. I'm hoping I can help in other ways or translate whatever. And I've been to Santiago many times over the last 40 years. So it's always great to have a reason to go there and to deepen my knowledge and connection there. So I look forward also to, getting to know the project and everything better. And I'm just continue to be so impressed with everything that you do. And thank you, Andres and Josefa, for sharing your personal stories, which, in a way, it's what it's all about. All these individual stories add up to something, excuse me, very meaningful and very big, much bigger than the individual and even just the family. So just want to applaud everything you do.
Thank you so much, Pat. And now, Nancy, okay.
Yeah, I just want to say how proud I am of the staff. I am so fortunate to have.
Here, here.
Yeah, I mean, really, you know, and for them to stick with it for all this time too. It's a vocation. And I'm very, very impressed and very, very happy and moved. So thank you, Josefa, Andres, Rocio, and of course, Evelyn. I know that just do a spectacular job every day of doing not only meeting and with the mothers and meeting with the kids and doing the teaching and looking for this or for that and just always one step ahead, basically, in getting things done and moving the project forward. I couldn't be happier to leave it more, what would you say? What's the word for it? More, well, just excellent hands. You know, I mean, I'm stepping back and someday I won't be here. And I'm just so happy that I have this group of young stars that can take it over.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to say, it's not every Saturday morning that tears flow down my cheeks, but you guys got me.
Nor mine.
Thank you to you. Well, we're closing this now, and before we leave, we have a small video about Eliezer's parents. Eliezer has been with us for 3 years now, so with Josefa talked with them, and they told us about how a Fotokids scholarship helped us with their family. So I'll share the video now.
Para mí es un gran apoyo porque Fotokids nos ha ayudado. Por mi propia parte, no lo hubiera hecho. No es porque uno no lo quiere dar ese poder, sino que no hay cómo. Lo que gana uno a la semana, un día, ya no hay nada ya.
Que ahora en día, todo, si uno no tiene estudios, no consigue un buen trabajo. Nosotros no tuvimos las oportunidades, ya que él ya tiene una oportunidad y es de apoyarlo. Para un futuro tú no vas a sufrir, ¿no? Lo que ya tú con tu estudio y tú ya vas a ser alguien, que es lo que él quiere. Como él me dice, no, yo quiero ser un chef.
Si no fuera por esa beca, mi hijo no estuviera estudiando.
A chef, we can always use a chef.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you imagine that? A chef? That's not a common job there. So it's great to hear his parents talking about that and how they are proud of him too. So it's great to have this video. I know it's short, but it expresses what Fotokids doing now and what will we keep doing for the rest of the year and coming years. So thank you all to be here today with us. We'll send the recording later. And to remember to follow us on our social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, and a LinkedIn account, so you can share us there to know the news about Fotokids every week. So thank you to be here today, and that's all. Have a great weekend, and hope to see you soon.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
you. Good work, everyone. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Thanks.